but my family's from the Dominican Republic, and I know exactly what it feels like to not have power off for
Yes.
sometimes a few days. Yeah, so I'm here with my people. I love it. So it's again, just thank you for having me here on the call. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for us to get together and have a real conversation about what I feel is probably, for me at least, probably one of the most important topics to talk about. So yeah, just grateful to have you, grateful to be here, grateful to answer any questions, and just talk deeper about how we can leverage our awareness to leverage our awareness to gain some power and utilize our focus to reach our goals. So
Thank you. Thank you once again, Reverend. First of all, let me offer you my gratitude, uh, because you promptly, let's say, reached the decision to be our guest, special guest today. Uh, uh, it wasn't, I mean, granted, right? It wasn't granted, and we couldn't afford to pay the service you are going to render for us. Truly appreciate your availability and your vast, I mean, wisdom, knowledge that you acquired over the years that we're going to benefit from it freely. So from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of our community here, because we are, as you can, oh my gosh, sorry. Please kindly mute your mic when you join. Let me fix it. Okay, my sincere apologize. So, oh my gosh.
oops, I got the iPhone. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
if you're in control, you should be able to mute people.
yes, it's done. Okay. So as you can see or notice, we are a community here, and from time to time and on a regular basis, we invite brilliant people like you. I mean, those who are giants in personal development industries and acquired knowledge, uh, to guide us, help us, right, on the journey of success. You know, it's not easy. So without um, your insights, your tips, your strategies, I don't think that uh, we could make it happen. So we owe you a debt of gratitude, and on behalf of my entire community, we say thank you so much. Uh,
That's my pleasure.
yes,
My pleasure.
yes. This initiative came from, I mean, the idea of this initiative stemmed from the fact that um, we lack knowledge, right? If we are not successful, if we are failing, if we are struggling in life, it just means that we lack the right knowledge, right? With the right method. So we got, let's say, purchase. I mean, we got pursued such knowledge with people who are demonstrating by result that they know what they are talking about and showing the true example, the paths to success. And that's it. That's where the idea came in. Okay. Sharing
Okay.
ideas, insights, strategies, because success is not easy. We got be really trained and make a paradigm shift before manifesting. That's it. So once again, thank you, Reverend. Uh, over to you. Take it away.
Take it away. Well, I'd love to know more about I'd love to know more about you and who's on the call so that I know that you have some I'm sure that you guys have had many great speakers present to you. I also saw the timer with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. So I'm sure there's some people on this call who've either read Napoleon Hill's books, whether it was Think and Grow Rich, the Master Ladder to Success, The Law of Success in 16 Lessons. So I can talk about those books all day. I can speak on kind of principles that are in those books, principles that are in many other books that I have read and that I've had the pleasure to get access to and learn from over the last, I'd say, maybe 10, 15 years. I wasn't always a successful person, so I'll go ahead and say that. And I actually do have a few slides that I will use in a little bit to just kind of go over some of the information that I share with people, especially on my one-on-one sessions, group sessions that I've done in the past. And I can probably hop from PowerPoint to PowerPoint just for the sake of the conversation today. But I know we're coming here to talk about awareness. So what is it that you guys have spoken about? Is everybody in this call kind of in alignment with the principles that are talked about in Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill?
Not everyone.
Not everybody. Okay, beautiful. So today, again, just gonna have a conversation. And
Yes.
and and if you have any questions, please post some questions in the chats. If later on there might be a Q&A, or I'll actually do some work with you guys when it comes to actually doing something live, like doing an actual exercise, um when it comes to our awareness. So, and as well, I'm over here looking over to the side because I have another screen here.
Yeah.
And I've been also going for my PhD and my doctorate in divinity. And one of the topics that I'm researching and studying right now is talking about awareness, right? Talking about awareness, and especially today with the what we're in the attention economy, right? We've been in this information where there's so much more information that we can access online. There's there's almost too much. Sometimes we don't know what to learn, we don't know who to listen to. And I'll tell you here first that the best person to listen to is yourself, right? And God, obviously. And only we know what we've been through individually. You guys know what you've been through individually, and you all have a story to tell. And it's in the power of being able to share your story and understand, like, the promise that God has had for you in your life already. Um, there's a person that a lot of people know of is Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. And one of the things he said is, sometimes in order to move forward, you have to be able to look backwards and see what you've been able to accomplish, or God has brought you through. Um, and then seeing the best aspect of it. So I'll probably just start with my story so that you guys get a chance to know me and who I am. Um, and I'll send, there's downloads that I have. There's different workshops, videos that I've been able to put together that I have on YouTube that you can watch, after this session, that go a little bit more into very specific types of conversations. But for the most part, I'm just pulling up information on awareness. So the first thing we're going to talk about awareness is that our awareness and our consciousness is pretty much all we have, right? But one thing is true. The only thing that it really exists is the now, right? When it comes to time, the past is something that we experienced in the now when we experienced it. The future is something that we will experience. It will be a now moment in the future. And if the goal of life is to be happy and be grateful and be in the present and act and take action here right now in the present, then we need to understand that our consciousness and our awareness can be spread out. We can have memories and emotions that are still stuck in the past of something that happened to us at another time, right? And just to premise is let me just share my screen. Could you allow me to share my screen, Jerome?
Yes, please. I'll
Yeah,
love for
I
you
think
to share your slides.
yeah, I think you have to give me
And
permission
for this to
to
happen,
share.
I have to make you an admin, right? The host of the event. Let me see. Uh,
I yeah, a co-host, I believe.
yes.
Because
Oh, oh my gosh. Oh, sorry.
awareness is one of those things where you got uh, again, our attention, where our attention goes, our energy flows, right? And that's such an important thing. So again, the more I know about you guys and what you're looking to go through, what you've already learned, challenges that you have, we'll get to that in a little bit. Because again, the best way to have a conversation with you is to have a conversation with you and not at you or to you like most other speakers.
Yes.
Um,
It's okay.
and again, if my energy is yeah, okay, great. So my energy is too low, you let me know. I can always turn it up. I'm just very relaxed. Super relaxed in this moment. So
For the first time, I've actually feel like things have changed.
give me a second. I got my
Okay.
other screen going here. Let me share this screen. All right, you guys see this PowerPoint on the screen?
Yes.
Josmar.
All right, so that's a small video you guys can see later about me. But the conversation that I want to talk about today are the 9 moves to upgrading your consciousness, right? And I'm going to take this slow because this could be topics that, that can go over a lot of people's heads, but at the same time, it's the core of what I've learned in my past and becoming, my path on becoming a reverend, right? So Narissa, she's the woman that you see on the screen. She was from the UK and she came to me because she's a health and life coach, and she was getting to the point where she wanted to quit her business. She wanted to quit her business because she started to lose trust in herself. She started to think that, it was just too hard to grow. And, she didn't really have that support. There was some relationship problems that she had with her husband at the time, and it was definitely affecting her decision making. And what we did with her is we found and identified limiting beliefs. We identified trapped emotions, feelings and emotions, and moods, attitudes that came from things that had happened in the past. And we did some work to reprogram her mind. I look at that, her business stuff, and she finally felt like she had somebody that was actually listening to her and supporting her on what she had been created, and that was really what she needed. She just needed that trust in herself and that hope. That was the main change for her. For Chris was a hypnotist, still a hypnotist to this day, and it was weird because he had reached out to me mainly because he had developed a fear of flying, and him being a hypnotist, I'm like, brother, you're the hypnotist. I should be asking you for help when it comes to these type of things. And he just couldn't figure out what was going on. And at that time, I couldn't figure out what was going on. So we both went and got certifications in a couple different healing modalities to work with our subconscious mind. And we were able to get to the bottom of it. And Chris has flown more than 50 times uh, since then, and since 2016. And he was leaving a lot of money behind because he was traveling for work. He was traveling to do speaking engagements and to coach and consult people in person. And he had developed this fear that was like literally he couldn't even get onto a plane or even go to an airport without getting like sick, like going into shock and having his stomach get sick. Naomi, she had a challenge where she was getting in the way of developing new relationships, and she was allowing her communication to get in the way of building trust with her team and with her clients. And everything shifted when we started to work on healing her heart, right? And her children told me that, Joseph, I'm so glad that you've been working with my mom because we finally feel like we have our mom back. And that was for me the biggest thing to hear. Kristen is a hypnotherapist, and she had some healing to do. She came to me because she knew she had to heal one very specific relationship, and that's the relationship she has with her father. And ever since the sessions that we've had, she's been on fire. This woman has been going around the world, speaking and training other people, um, providing messages, talking about the same topic we're talking about today, how to leverage our awareness, right? And some of my good friends, Francisco and Dr. Andrea Gleam, she's a counselor and a licensed therapist, and he is a marketing professional and an entrepreneur. They came to me for different reasons. This is before they were married. They're now married, and he lost about 40 pounds to the coaching, and she was able to walk away from working for somebody else and to work for herself. They all have one thing in common. And the one thing they have in common is that they leverage their awareness. They leverage their perception of life, made some changes in their mentality, made some changes in their emotions, and then decided to take different actions. Okay. So awareness is great, but unless you're willing to take action to make changes, unless you're willing to take action to do something different, you're never going to achieve different results. Right. So the results that I've created in my life, again, I'm just grateful to God for everything that I've been through. But I started my career as an architect. I was an architectural manager and construction manager in Manhattan in New York City. And I've had the opportunity to present a lot of presentations, to design a lot of presentations for the architectural companies. Essentially, as an architect, you have to present drawings and renderings and a finished product, or what the finished product could look like, to enroll somebody into buying something. So I've had a lot of practice in presenting and information. I've had the opportunity to write books, several books. You guys will get a copy of a few of my chapters from this book, The Pivot Point System, that you see there on the screen. I have for you, which talks about the topic of awareness and how we can work with our subconscious mind to reprogram, release, and rewire. And I've had the opportunity to just learn new things. And there was something that occurred in my life where I was I'll get into the story in a little bit, right? So just I've had an opportunity to learn from a lot of different organizations, get a lot of different certifications, get a lot of degrees, some of them on scholarship, which again, I'm very grateful for. Been featured on a lot of different podcasts and TV, and have had worked with some companies that you might have seen before, like the AT&Ts of the world, Versace, so some pretty cool companies, Verizon. And I say this to say that, this is all great and everything, but I wasn't always this way, right? I was just a regular kid from two parents. Both of my parents are from the Dominican Republic, and they sacrificed everything that they had to come here to the United States. My dad was a medical doctor in Dominican Republic. My mother, she was also going to school for architecture, and they decided to move to have me. They came to the United States. I was born, and then went back to the Dominican Republic. Then they had to come back because my sister was being born, and then it's been a great. It's been great. I've always been a big boy as a kid, and it was tough growing up because a lot of people, when you're this big, this is not normal, guys. This being this big, I know in Africa, it's not normal to be this big as a
Yes.
kid, right? So I was really, really big, and I heard about it, right? My friends would tell about it. I would go to school and people would bully me, people would make fun of me for being so big. And again, one of my coping mechanisms was to just make fun, right? Be funny guy, do jokes. Here I am doing an eyebrow like this, trying to be funny in the picture. I was a clown, right? I would make fun of myself, but it was with good humor, and that was one of the ways that I used to cope with it. I played sports as well. I wrestled for 2 years, Greco-Roman style wrestling, and then football. I played for about 8 years of my life, and again, I did things to get outside of myself, right? Do things like that. And graduated high school and ended up going to college to become an architect, and actually had, like I mentioned earlier, was actually working in New York. And In 2016, in 2014, um, I was fired from that architectural job. My dad was fired from his job as well, something not related, but it just happened around the same time, maybe 2 weeks later after that. My car was repossessed. They took my car away. We were forced to move out of our house. And then we learned that my mother that she was diagnosed with breast cancer the first time around. So in about 30 days, all that stuff happened, and I got depressed. I started eating a lot more. I started going back to my old ways. And again, it was not a good time. And but after some time of just being in my what I call my BS, being in my bullshit, I had the opportunity to just like really reflect. I'm like, okay, hold on, Josmar, hold on. Like I've learned all these things. I've had all these coaches in my life. I've had all these amazing mentors. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up rich or anything. My parents barely did the least. I didn't pay. I really didn't pay to go to college. I was blessed to have a scholarship, right? So like, but I learned these things, right? I learned these things, and I'm like, okay, hold on. I have to take radical self-responsibility. And I'm in a place where all these things are happening and I'm attracting all these type of results in my life. I somehow am co-creating it. Right? God is putting me through these circumstances and events, but I'm somehow in it with him. I'm somehow in it with God. I can't just blame God for everything that's happening to me. I have to thank God for what's happening for me. And I started to learn about the mindset. I started to learn about the subconscious mind. I started reading books, started watching videos. I started watching documentaries. I didn't really like reading. Like even in college, I really didn't like reading at all. And I tell you this story because I made a decision to start getting trained. And I started getting trained in energy psychology and divinity and psychological kinesiology, leadership, transformational leadership, emotional freedom technique, stress management. Became a certified health and life coach and started training and presenting. Started hosting workshops online and offline. I transformed my body. I lost about 60 pounds. Have been pretty much eating plant-based, what some people would call vegan diet, now for almost 8 years. It's going to be 9 years actually in January. So started to change my habits. Wrote my first book. Started doing psychological kinesiology with people, and started hosting large scale events. All right, so that's essentially my story in a nutshell, so that you guys get to know me a little bit more. And even in my worst times in 2016, 2014, 2015, 2016, I was self-sabotaging, right? So even the best of us self-sabotage. Some people on the call, sometimes we do things that are out of alignment with our goals. We do things that we don't necessarily want to do. We react sometimes in a negative way based on what's happening, right? And what that leads to is getting off track, getting off the plan that we have, or the plan that God has for us. We start drifting, developing the habit of drifting, which is just not following our own plan, right? Or God's plan, and we lack the support, right? I lacked the support at that time in my life. And I definitely didn't have any discipline or accountability until I started to take responsibility. And more specifically, I was experiencing stress, right? So I was experiencing anger, anxiety. I was experiencing fear of success, fear of failure, limiting beliefs, was depressed again, and what I found is that most other people also deal with this stuff. They deal with stress. Sometimes they feel alone, sometimes they feel unseen or unheard, or they have the lack of clarity. And this is definitely the case for a lot of Americans. I can tell you that. In most of the places I worked with, this is the challenge that a lot of these people have. Right. So when people are stressed out and they don't release that energy or they don't do anything about that pent up stress or that energy, they're going to continue to suffer. Right. And this is what I have found in working with people around the world, right, online, is that we get into a position where we're subconsciously resistant. we're not even aware that we're resisting what we want. We're not even aware that we're resisting being here right now. If you're used to being on your phone and scrolling, and I'm a this happens to me too, where I'm on my phone, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm just scrolling for a very, very long time, and I'm not present anymore, right? And I'm resisting what I need to do in the moment. It happens, right? There's so many ways that this can manifest, but a lot of us are just, we don't know what we don't know. And we don't, and there's some things that we've been through that are holding us back from being here right now. Whether we're thinking in the past or we're thinking in the future, if we're not focusing on the now and our subconscious mind is somewhere else, dealing with problems or stress, you're not really here right now. Right. So the goal is to maximize and be as much here as possible. We want to be super consciously aware. We want to be in aligned with the divine and being here. And not just being here and present, but also being non-resistant. Give me a second. There you go. Thank you. So we're in this position where we want to find some type of systematic approach to go from here to there. We definitely need some level of accountability, right? And that's what I'm here to tell you is that in your awareness and the way that you're thinking and your actions, like you can't do things alone, right? You need people who could support you and can hold you accountable on your goals, especially as men. Sometimes we don't really have that help or we can't talk about our problems, and it's important thing that we talk about it, right? It's important that we get help, right? And for me, the way that I've helped people is by reducing their stress, by helping them enjoy deeper levels of relaxation, whether that be through coaching, guided meditations, just counseling, you know, and doing and using different techniques that I've used in my past to help people do this. And right. So again, I love to share, but what I love to do is also discuss with you guys and to have you share, because if there's a specific challenge or problem that we can talk about, that we can actually do something live on this call. All right. So what I'm here to tell you is that if your awareness is important and it's the most important commodity, I want you to think about this. If you guys use Facebook, you guys use social media tools, you guys use websites, right?
Yes.
They're right. So these websites are their algorithms, they're AI, and their goal is to try to get your attention as much as possible. If these applications are free, then they're not actually free. What they're making money on is you. You're the product. Your attention is what pays these advertisers. These advertisers are paying Facebook, WhatsApp, Google, YouTube. They're paying to get your eyeballs to look at things, right? People are paying. In some countries, you might see a lot of again, it might be government run presentations, might be government run stuff. It could be propaganda. It could be a lot of things, right? So your gift, everything is in the present, and there's people actively always trying to get your information away, right? So reality is what it is, right? Reality is what it is, and we perceive reality not as it is, but how we are. So we perceive it from our beliefs, our emotions, our environmental factors, our attachments, things that we've gone through, transgenerational beliefs, beliefs that our parents had and your grandparents had and our elders had and our ancestors had. All of that stuff, all that information is happening here right now in your thoughts, in your mind. Right. So we don't see the world as it is. We see the world through the filter of our past, of our experience of life, our culture, our traditions, our spiritual relationship with God. And this perception that we have, again, is projecting a reality, not as it is, but how we think we are. Right. And those perceptions, right? All these psychological phenomenon, they become the triggers that get us to act, they get us to react and to take proactions, be proactive. Right. And those activities over time become behaviors. They become habits. And our habits are the things that we do every day without really thinking about them, right? We're not having to think about how to breathe. We're not having to think about how to drive a car. We're not having to think about how to walk, right? We just know to do them. We just do them, right? So these habits over time become what our results. What we do every day with the actions that we take, will lead us to our results, whether you like it or not, whether the results that you want or not, right? And these results are essentially dictating our reality, right? So we're in this loop where we're creating a reality and we're creating a reality and we're living it. So we're continuously in this loop, just stuck, creating the same stuff over again based on our beliefs about ourselves, about other people, all these things that are happening in the world, right? So that's the game that we're playing, right? Is that our awareness can either bring us to success or it can bring us to failure. Our awareness can either support you or it can kill you. You're either growing or you're dying. All right. Obviously, we're every minute that we, every breath that we take, we're getting closer to an imminent passing, right? But in the moment, our subconscious mind is always active, and it's always actively working on our perception based on what we experience in our life. Right. So the three most common minds that we're going to talk about before we start having a conversation is okay. We have the conscious mind, which is about 5% of what's happening, right? You're watching this Zoom call, you're seeing me, you're probably whatever you're doing on your side, if you're walking around, if you're sitting at a desk, I don't know what you guys are doing, but everything that you see around you, everything that you're experiencing is happening and experienced through your conscious mind, right? All of our short-term memories, our rational thinking, our very masculine way of thinking, a lot of that is ran by our conscious mind. The actions that we take, right? Subconscious mind is about the subconscious and the unconscious mind they really run the show. It's 95% of the thing that's happening. If you were blessed to have a meal today, when you were eating, you didn't have to think about how to chew. You just chewed and your body took all those nutrients and assimilated it and sent it out to all the cells in your body. It's happening underneath your awareness. Every breath that you take, if you're not consciously aware of your breathing, you're breathing without even thinking about it. That's subconscious awareness, right? The subconscious mind is there it is designed to help us. It is our servant and we are its master. And until we really understand and realize that, we're not going to be empowered to do anything about it. Our subconscious mind runs our life, right? It also dictates the emotional responses, reactions. This is where our emotions play a big role in how the subconscious mind communicates. Right? Our automatic behaviors, those habits, the habitual thinking is subconscious, and then what we're trying to forget or what we hold back is unconscious. We have all these repressed memories, automatic bodily functions, right? Memories that you're trying to forget from things that happened to you in your past. That you kind of we tend to do this where we go through something, we just throw it under the rug, especially as men. Right, where we don't want to, we don't want to we don't want to face the facts of what happened. Right. So again, I can't say that this is for everybody here, but this is something that I experienced myself. This is something I experienced with a lot of people that I work with, is that we all have something that has gotten in our way. So there's 5 steps. And the 5 steps I want to talk about today is we got to take our consciousness, which you can, our consciousness and our awareness are hand in hand, right? God gave us consciousness. He gave us the ability to be aware. And as humans, we usually are resistant to what we don't know. If we're not aware about something, we usually are resistant to it. And until we change our energy about this belief, or we have faith, or we have trust, we start to realize that, okay, we're getting in the way of our own stuff. And we start becoming aware that we're sabotaging. It's okay, well, if I want something to change, I have to make a change in my life. I have to do something different. I have to think differently. I have to feel different. And when you start to allow that change, and when you start to allow and work with that instead of fighting it, you start to make moves, you start to make strides, you start to find ways to make things happen. You have these serendipitous moments, these moments where you meet somebody and then they have something that you want, and they're willing to give it to you, right? Where all these law of attraction comes in, and it comes in when you're unconsciously non-resistant, when you know you want something, and you're aligned to it, you're not resisting it, you're just allowing it, and you don't even have to think about allowing it, you just do it naturally, right? These are the steps to resonance, right? And we're disassociated usually, right? We have this opposition to things. And we want to get to the point where we start to associate with the fact that we're out of alignment sometimes, right? This is not for everybody. Not everybody's out of alignment. But I'll tell you what, if you have goals and you don't believe that you can achieve them, you're out of alignment because God gave us the ability to create, right? And that's where we start to become aware. That's that awareness stage where we realize that we don't even know that we're disassociated, meaning we're separating ourselves from what we want, and we're separating ourselves in the state that we're resisting what we want. So we don't even know it, but we're like resisting the resistance. And then we start to get associated with the fact that we are resisting and that we're not in alignment. And we become aware, we start to take the step-by-step actions to make a change in our life. And over time, that will create resonance. Where now what you're thinking about, what your goals are, they're in alignment and you want to achieve it. Right. So these are just the steps again. So do you guys usually have like a pen and paper to go through things? Because I want to make sure that this is a workshop, right? I don't want to just talk. I want to like make sure that I give you guys some tools and we can do something live.
Yes, Reverend.
Is that typically how we do it? Do you guys
Yes.
usually? Oh, okay, so the first step in the tuning up process is to get clear about what you want. Okay, just to get clear about what you want. Get clear about what your goals are. Get clear about what it is that you want. So, like, I'll give you an example. For me, I want to live a lifestyle where I can move back to Dominican Republic, where my parents are from. I can build substantial businesses, but I also want to host an annual an annual event for young children in the Dominican Republic where they learn about what I'm talking about right now. Learn about consciousness and how to work with it, right? How to work with the things that God gave us, right? That's an actual goal that I have. Right? And I just put it in the chat, right? So we got to get clear about what this vision is, and I have an exercise that I can do with you guys about vision in a little bit,
Yes.
right? So get clear first. So this is, I'm preparing you for what we're going to do. Okay. So the first step is getting clear about what we want. Right. And if anybody here wants a little bit more clarity about what they want, we can do that live too. Right. That's how we bring awareness to what we want. So another part of it, for some people, they might not understand what they want. They might not be clear, and that's okay. Right. Because we can definitely understand what we don't want. We can uncover what we don't want and and then use that as a way to understand what it is that we do want instead, right? And in that process, typically you're going to uncover what's holding you back, things that what's slowing you down, what's stopping you. Sometimes it's not having the money to do it. Sometimes it's not having the time. Sometimes it's the fact that you're doing things by yourself, right? So we'll figure out what that is. And by doing that, you'll start to allow yourself to understand, like, okay, if I want to have a new experience, if I have this vision that I have, I need to be able to fully experience what that looks like. And this is the cheat code for our awareness. So our subconscious mind does not know our conscious mind is basically ran by time, right? Our conscious mind is the part of our mind that allows us to think about the past, right? So you're thinking backwards into the past, right? And it also allows you to think about the future, right? All conscious, 5% of your awareness is conscious. Is what gives us the illusion of time. The subconscious mind is always here right now. It's always in the present moment. While you were listening to this and walking around and doing other things at your house or wherever you're at right now, maybe you might not have been paying attention to what I've been saying, but your subconscious mind was listening to everything. Your subconscious mind is recording everything in the moment. So it doesn't know when something you watch on TV is real or fake. It's having an experience and it's saving it as if it's real. So if that's true, then you can start to visualize a future in a future and then in the now moment. You have the ability to think about something that you want in the future, but visualize it now and experience it eyes closed in your body now. Right. And the more that you can experience a future result in the present, you're giving your subconscious mind commands. You're giving your subconscious mind a little nudge, a little push to see things differently. And you'll start to notice different patterns. I'll give you a perfect example. I had this one time where I was thinking about a very specific car that I wanted. And this is like almost 10 years ago. So I was thinking about this very specific car. It was gray, dark gray. It was a gray Camaro. And it was just the car that I was interested in back then. Right. And I didn't have any money for a car. I didn't have, I was just thinking about this car. And I said, okay, well, let me try this visual experience thing. How can I viscerally experience it? And you viscerally experience something when you can see it, when you can hear it, and you can feel it. Right. So actually having an experience in a gray Camaro is the best way to do it. Right. But for me, I just needed to practice from my house. And I would close my eyes and I would meditate, gray Camaro, dark gray Camaro. I've been in one before, so I know what they sound like. So I would listen to the sounds of the Camaro. And then I would start to feel like, what would I feel like in the present moment if I was in this car? And I would just meditate and pray on the car. And again, doing that every day, practicing this for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I forgot about it, right? Totally just let it go, right? Detachment, right? Where I'm unconsciously resonating to it, right? I've trained my mind to see it, to feel it, to hear it, to taste it, to smell it. And then one day I'm walking home from work, and on my where I live, on the block where my house is, I saw three gray Camaros parked back to back. Three of them, back to back, right next to each other. And I had never seen that car on my block. I was like, okay. This is crazy. This experience thing is very real, right? You got to live in your inside. So many stuff I can tell you about the moment that I viscerally experienced it just today. I said, look, I don't know, by Saturday, I wanna be able to pay for my phone. I have a phone payment I needed to make. Don't necessarily have any specific money coming in that's scheduled, right? And then I wake up this morning and one of my past clients who still owes me some money, she sends me some money today. I was able to pay my phone bill today. Right? Little experiences, right? So again, is when you perceive that you're gonna find solutions, God will provide. You have to have the faith. You have to have the faith in yourself, and you got to train your subconscious mind to have the experience. Once you do that, you start to realize, okay, wow, if I can manifest things, if I can attract things, then I should probably get clear about what I want. It's not the vision is not clear enough. What are some desires that I have? What are some things that I don't have now that I do want in the future? And then how can I make a plan of action to get there? Right? Because half of it is preparing to have this new experience, right? And making decisions. And when we make decisions, this is where we need to draw the line. What foods are giving us energy and support us? Which foods take away our energy? What drinks give us energy? What drinks take away our energy? What relationships and people support us, and which relationships and people don't support us? Who's hurting us, right? What are the habits that I want to keep, and what are the habits that I want to change? And literally making a list and drawing the line, right? Saying enough is enough. I want to have more of this and I want to have less of this. And when you give your mind, when you write it out in front of you and you give yourself that clarity, you start to notice, okay, these are the things that support me. So when you do only those things, guess what starts to happen? You start to shift what your experience, your habits start to shift, right? And when you develop that discipline, you're turning and you're becoming more powerful. Yeah, instead of life happening to you, life is happening for you. Okay. And then you start to tap into the power that God gave you, which is the ability to create. It's the most natural thing. We are here to create. As men, we create life literally, right? Through a relationship with a woman. As an architect, I used to design things in my head. I would put them on paper, right? I would design the plans. I would get somebody to pay for it, and it was usually a client. We would find people to build, and then we would see these buildings be built. Like it started in our mind. It started with the vision, right? We started to look at what was getting in the way of the design of the construction. We started to have physical experiences of what it would be like to be in the building. We created a plan of action for our desires. We made some decisions of who we're going to work on, what materials we're going to use for the house. And then we disciplined. We showed up every day knowing that we can build this, right? And then I would say the last couple steps for me in the tuning up processes, and this is where mastery starts to come in, is where you start to transform your limiting beliefs. You start to decide which limiting beliefs you want to get rid of and rewire them, right? And this is what people essentially they experience in working with me. They start to transcend their fears and their phobias and their doubts, things that are getting in their way, and they start to release emotions, hurt, what's keeping us stuck in a past tense, right? And when you do these things, when you relieve yourself of the energy that are holding you back, everything starts to change because now instead of your perception fighting what you want, your perception is helping and guiding you and supporting you in achieving what you want to achieve. And things don't happen overnight. Things are not perfect. Not everything's gonna work out for you. And you need to take advantage, you take advantage of that mindset that you can't expect everything to always work out for you, but you can control how you feel. You can control how you react. Right. So that's what we're talking about here today. So it's 47 minutes in. I'm gonna take a break to make sure everybody's still here. What is there anything that I've talked about in the last couple of slides that anybody wants to go back to? If anybody has a question about something specifically, or if there's any specific processes that we want to do to start looking at our goals in a more profound way.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Reverend. It was just brilliant and insightful. I truly appreciate it. And I hope all the attendees are feeling the same, I mean, kind of feeling. I've got a question.
Yes.
You put it very well, and sometimes personally, I find it very difficult to take uh, control over my emotions. And I read a lot about the secrets. But when it comes to feeling, really feeling a big goal that we want to manifest, but it's not already exist, right? But
Okay.
they used to say that feeling the secret. But here's the
It
thing,
is.
how to really feel something that isn't exist yet, but is about to move into form. But at the same time, we are letting circumstances dictating our resource.
Yeah.
It's a great battle. How to really feel what I want to manifest while I'm struggling with my present realities.
Yep. I agree. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're trying to create something from nothing. But circumstances don't matter. And it's hard. Sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow because they're very real. We're dealing with our circumstances right now. But when I say circumstances don't matter, they don't create the material world. So if something happens to you, what happened to you doesn't create the material world, right? Only your state of being matters. How you're being in the moment is what really creates the material world. If somebody believes they're wrong about something, they're going to do all the wrong things. If somebody believes they're right about something, they're probably going to do more right things than wrong things. Right? So with feeling as the secret, which is I love I love the book. I love Neville Goddard and his philosophies and the people that he's trained from. So this is one trick that I have for feelings, right? So when you start to visualize something, right? Well, let's say you have a vision for yourself and it doesn't exist, right? I want you to just make believe that right now circumstances don't matter and only our state of being matters. So we want to start to focus on this vision, right? So the first question to ask yourself is this vision that I have for the future of what I want to create, even if it hasn't happened yet, is this thing happening outside? Like, am I doing something out in the world, or am I inside of a house? Am I inside of an office building? Where am I? Right? Visualize yourself in that future. You know, am I inside or am I outside? And you can write this stuff down, right? And if you want to ask a question, please raise your hands for sure. So we need to viscerally understand and feel this. So the first thing you want to start doing is visualizing. What are you wearing? You have this future. You're in this future result. What are you wearing? Who is around you? Right? Who is around you? What are you doing? What are they doing? What's happening? What would be happening that's proof that you're having this new experience, or that you're achieving this goal, that you have this new result? What would be happening around you if you already achieved it? Okay? And just start to visualize it. And I always say, are you inside or you're outside? Because it puts you into the room or into the nature, wherever you want to be. And I say, okay, well, besides what you're wearing, what are people doing? What are the activities? What are they wearing? You know, what colors are the rooms that you're in? Or if you're outside, what are you seeing and you're experiencing? What's the vision? What's your goal? Like really, really visualize it, right? For as a meditation for the moment. And then you start to think about not just what you're seeing, but then you start like, what am I hearing? Okay, if I'm in this room, if it's an interior thing and I'm working with other people doing some other things, or I have this goal, or what am I saying and what are other people saying? Do I hear music? Do I hear nature? If I'm outside, am I hearing cars? What is the experience what is the auditory experience I'm having? Right? And you start to listen and to experience what you would be hearing. And what starts to happen is that you start to have sensations in your body if you're doing this right. Because you're starting to put yourself in a future experience. You're starting to see it, you're starting to hear it. And I would say the next level is to like, what would somebody say to you if you achieve this goal? What would they be saying to you? Like, are they saying, congratulations? Oh my God, you're amazing. What would they be saying to you? Right? Would they be thanking you? Start thinking about what they would be saying to you. What are the words? Put the words in their mouth. And always do it in third person. Say, oh my God. You can say your name. You can say your name. Oh my God, your name. Thank you. Or, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you achieved whatever they'd be saying to you. And then the final step of what you're hearing, if I was to put a mirror in front of you right here, right? If I was to put that mirror in front of you, what would you be saying to yourself having had this new experience? Like, what would you say to yourself? You're in your bathroom, in the mirror, you achieve your goal, you achieve your vision. You'd be saying, I did it. Like, I achieved it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm happy, right? I'm so grateful to God for having had this experience. Like, I knew I could do it. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I don't know when it was going to happen, but I'm glad that I stayed the course and I made it work. Right? What would you be saying to yourself? There'd probably be affirmations, right? So, and then when you start getting there, you start getting to the feelings in your body, right? And what are those feelings? Like this new vision that you have for yourself, you're seeing it, you're hearing it, now you're feeling. What are those emotions that you're feeling? And just list the emotions. I feel blessed. I feel grateful. I feel happy. I feel proud. Right? I feel accomplished. I feel like a man. I feel like I arrived. I feel like I am triumphant. Everything was worth it. All the things I had to go through were worth it. Right? And then the next layer of that is, okay, well, have I ever felt this way before?
Not really.
Right? And if I haven't, no, I haven't felt this way before. But I can choose to feel this way over and over and over again by doing what we just did. And by training yourself and doing this over and over and over and over again, you're creating sensations in your body. And your subconscious mind doesn't know if this vision that you just created for yourself is true or not. But you're training it to feel the emotion. And when you get to the point where, regardless of what your circumstances are, you are training your subconscious mind to feel the end result. Your subconscious mind has to start working for you. It has to physically express what you're impressing upon it. And that's what Napoleon Hill talks about. That's what Neville Goddard talks about. That's what all these people talk about. If you can feel the end result so often that it becomes stronger than the circumstances that you feel, you'll start to attract the circumstances, people, and events when you actually take action on it. You're looking for it. Your subconscious mind is looking for that perception, right? And when you feel that feeling, let's say Jerome, right? This feeling that you created for yourself, this vision that something you've never felt before, you've allowed yourself to see it, you've allowed yourself to hear it, you allowed yourself to feel it. Then ask yourself, where do I feel it in my body the most? Right? Where in my body? When I think about this vision, where do I feel it in my body the most?
The sensation of, I mean, um, gratitude,
Okay.
um, and
And
worthiness.
where and worthiness.
Yes.
Okay. And where when you think about this experience now, where do you feel it in your body the most?
Oh, very happy and accomplished.
Where in your body do you feel it?
Yes,
A location
inside of me.
inside of you. Okay.
Yes,
If that feeling had a color, what color would it be?
yes, but the problem, I think the missing piece is to maintain such a state of happiness all the day long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, that's the biggest obstacle I'm
That's
encountering right now. How to maintain such a state of happiness and not get disturbed or controlled by my
by your other emotions.
physical, yes, reality, my present resource.
Exactly. So think about this is what you got to do. The subconscious mind needs repetition. So
Yes.
if you just give yourself the emotion once and then don't do anything for weeks, you're not really training your subconscious mind. You're just visiting it. You're just visiting this feeling. The goal is to make it the goal is to basically convince your subconscious mind and persuade your subconscious mind. So I'm just talking about the first step. The first step is feeling the end result, right? So I'm asking you to take it a little bit deeper.
Yes.
If you have this end result, where would you be feeling it in your body? Like,
Yeah.
where would you feel the worthiness and the gratitude physically in your body? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your chest? Is it all over your body?
In my heart.
It's in your heart. Okay.
Yes.
So
I will be releasing
if we
such
can
a
pretend,
joy.
okay. So it's in your heart.
Yes.
If we pretended that this space in your heart and this emotion that you're feeling of worthy and gratitude and gratefulness, if that feeling had a color, what color would it be?
Ah, white.
It'd be a white feeling, white light, white energy, white
Yes.
color in your chest. Okay. And if you could hold this feeling with your hands, like in your hands, physically in your hands, what would it feel like to the touch?
So fresh.
It feel like in your hands? Okay. And if this feeling was a temperature, what temperature would it be?
Uh, let's say 10 degrees Celsius.
Maybe 10 degrees Celsius. It's this
Yes.
white energy, 10 degrees Celsius. It's in your heart space. It's all these feelings of gratitude, worthiness, and it's connected to this vision that you had of yourself, what people would be saying to you, what you'd be saying to yourself, and all these emotions that you can list and like literally write a list of them and see
Okay.
it every day. Study it at the beginning of the day, study it at the end of the day before you go to sleep, where your subconscious mind is more prone to being persuaded,
Okay.
right? And if this feeling had a shape, what shape would it be?
Uh, I don't know. Uh, in shape in terms of this in terms of size. Do you mean size or?
Yeah, it could be size, or it could just be like the way it looks. It could be a polygon, it could be
Mm,
a shape, it could be like a box, it could be like, it could be anything.
I have no clue.
Okay. So you again, you create when we create all these other layers of an emotion or an experience, we can use those things as anchors. So if you want to experience more joy, more
Okay.
worthiness, more gratitude, focus on your heart space and thinking about white energy and feel those emotions. It's the fastest way for you to get back to an emotion and practice it. Is to anchor yourself and bring yourself back. So like 10 degrees Celsius, white energy in my heart space, feeling those emotions, allowing yourself to smile. That's how you that's the first step,
Okay.
is actually feeling the body sensation. Now the second step
Yes.
is dealing with all these other emotions that you have that get you out of that feeling, right? When you start to think about your circumstances, when you start to think about your results. Has anybody ever done tapping with you guys? Emotional freedom technique tapping?
No. No.
Okay, so this is a good tool that you guys can use. It's free. I have a video that I'll send you guys. Let
Thank
me
you.
actually I'll pull it up as I'm showing it to you guys.
Okay.
So tapping is a technique that a lot of psychologists use. It's called EFT for short. There's also people who use TFT tapping, depending on who's training it. But basically, it's almost like acupressure points in your body that you're pressing, right? So there, it's the head. I want to get to Medard's raised hand too. The head tapping on like basically where your eyebrow is,
Mm,
tapping right here at the edge of your eyes, tapping. I'm just showing you the point, and I'm gonna go over it with
okay.
you.
Yes.
Below the eye, right here, to the bone on the socket right here below the eye,
Yes.
right underneath the nose. We get a tap on there. We're gonna tap between our lip and our chin here. There's a point here where we have a collarbone. There's a bone right here, and there's a little right underneath this bone. There's a little almost like a little pocket. It's softer. It goes in a little bit. This is our K27 points, right? They're in alignment with our kidneys, right? So there's a point here that we start tapping on. 4 inches below the armpit. There's another point here. There's usually a sore point next to our body, next to our chest, a sore point there. And then the meat part of the hand right here, we do like tapping on it too.
Okay.
So and I'm gonna just do it with you guys. Let me actually send you the link for
Okay.
the video that I have about it, and then I think I actually do have a visual cue that I can share on the screen so you guys can see the points that we're tapping. All right.
Yeah.
But you do this with, let's say, what's an emotion that you may feel that gets, when you start to think about your circumstances and you start to think about things and you get out of this feeling of being worthy or feeling grateful. What's an emotion that comes up for you? And anybody here can pick an emotion too. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be Jerome, it could be anybody. An emotion that comes up for you it's a tough
If
emotion.
joy.
Okay. So if you're not experiencing joy, what's the opposite of joy that you're experiencing?
Sadness.
Sadness.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you're sad in this moment,
Mm.
but let's think about a time where you were sad, or maybe you are sad in this moment. Maybe somebody here on this call is feeling sad or feeling fear or feeling afraid or feeling disgusted. I don't know, right? It is whatever you guys want to do. So let's say sadness. On a scale from 0 to 10, how sad are you feeling? 10 being the most sad, 0 being totally at peace.
Yes. 8.
Okay, 8. Okay. So you said 8,
Yes.
right? You started with 8. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna send you I'm gonna send you, Jerome, an email with documents. So like maybe PDFs of these different things. And I also have these videos that I'm sending you. I just posted a YouTube video in the chat for the EFT tapping that you can watch later after this call. But so I'm gonna have you say this, right? Even though, and let me see if I can find let me just type it in here in the chat. Even though I feel blank, and that's where you fill in the blank. In this case, we're saying sadness.
Okay.
I deeply love and accept myself. Right? Even though I feel blank, I deeply love and accept myself. So when we say that to our body, it's a subconscious command. And we're saying, even though I feel sad, even though I feel mad, even though I feel angry, even though I feel anxious, even though whatever the emotion you're dealing with, and again, everybody can do this live right now. You don't have to wait for me to do this with Jerome and then go to you. We can literally all do this at the same time. So find an emotion that's you're struggling with, right? Not a positive emotion. It would be the negative emotion that you're dealing with that gets you out of this really feeling really good feeling, right? So Jerome, it's sadness, right? So I want you to start. We're gonna say it out loud several times
Yes.
as we tap different parts of our body.
Okay.
Okay. So first we're gonna, and actually let me pull this up so that you guys have a visual cue of the points. I have this video here, just to make it a little bit easier to follow along as we're going through it. Okay, let me just make sure that's muted, and let me go fast forward to the part of the screen where that part of the training is. And let me share my screen again.
Doing the same thing as you're touching, you are going for anxiety, fatigue, completely acceptance.
There you go. That's one of my partners. She's also a metaphysician. I'm training to be a reverend right now. Okay. So these are the points, right? Top of the head, eyebrow, side of the eye. So we're gonna say it like this. Even though I feel sad,
Even though I feel sad,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Tap on your head as you say it. Even though I feel sadness, I deeply love and accept myself.
Even though I feel sadness, I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay. Now we're going to go to the top of the eyebrow, where the eyebrow is, top bone here. And to keep tapping it. Even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay. Now we're going to go to the side of the eye. Even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Right? And you'll start to feel it coming up, right?
Yes.
Right below the eye,
Yes.
even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay. Now we're going to go underneath the nose. And above even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay. Are you underneath the lip, between the lip and the chin? Even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
Keep tapping and keep breathing. I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay, so now the K27 points right here underneath the collarbone.
Okay.
Start tapping there. Even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay. You can do the thymus, which is the middle of the body right here in the middle of the chest. Just tap it. Even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay, now 4 inches underneath the
Okay.
armpit, you just see like the tender spot.
Yes.
Even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay. We don't need to do the ribs, but we're gonna do the meat hand part, the karate chop part of the hand. So we're gonna do this. Even though I feel sadness,
Even though I feel sadness,
I deeply love and accept myself.
I deeply love and accept myself.
Okay. And since we're doing it live, I'm gonna give you a nice little bonus, a little bonus one. So between the ring finger and the pinky finger,
Yes.
right here in the middle of the hand, there's a pressure point here too. We're gonna tap there.
Okay.
I want you to just keep on tapping.
Okay.
Open your eyes.
Yes.
Keep tapping. I want you to close your eyes and keep tapping. Now I want you to open your eyes again as you keep tapping and
Yes.
look down and to the left. Like your eyes down to the left as you keep tapping.
Okay.
Then look down to the right. Okay. And with your eyes, as you continue to tap, I want you to roll your eyes around your head.
Mhm.
Keep tapping, and now I want you to roll it the other way around. Okay. And what we're gonna do now is I want you to start just humming.
Mhm.
Just and then out loud count to 10.
Okay.
1,
1,
2,
2, 3,
3, 4, 5, 6,
6,
7,
7, 8,
9,
9,
10.
10.
And I want you to just keep tapping and start humming again. And sometimes you can stop now. Sometimes it looks silly.
Wow.
But
Awesome.
I want you to think about it now. You said before that you were on a scale of 8. Out of 0 to 10, you felt your sadness was at an 8. What would you say it is now?
It's like it's cool.
Is it an 8? Is it 7, 6, 5? Where's it at now?
Let's say it's almost cool. 2.
It's like a 2?
Yes.
Okay. So you see, we did just simple tapping. We're telling our body,
Yes.
even though I feel this, and you went from an 8 to a 2 in like 5 minutes. That's how you work with your emotions, one by one. On
Wow.
all the emotions that are holding you back, you make a list of all the emotions that you feel in the past. And when they come up as you go through life, you're going to find, okay, today I feel this, so this happened to me. And this happened to me. I felt this way. I felt betrayed. I felt energy. Whatever the energy is, you can say, okay, on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the most stressed with this emotion, where am I on the scale? And then you can start to do this. Even though I feel blank, I deeply love and accept. Even though I feel blank because this person did this to me,
Yes.
or even though I feel blank because I don't have this or that, I deeply love and accept myself. And you start to tap and get it and keep going and do another round. You can start all over again from the top. Even though I feel sadness, I deeply love and accept myself. And you do that until you get to a 0, right? And you're allowing your body to release the electromagnetic charge of the emotion,
It's so powerful.
right? Such a powerful tool. It's so easy to do. Most people don't do it.
Yes.
Most people just don't know what they don't know. But that's a very powerful tool. And you can find a lot of information online. And again, that video that I just sent you is a good walkthrough video. And I'm going to send you a PDF that actually has the step-by-steps written out.
Thank you. We were not even aware of that.
Yeah, man. It's a very good tool to use, and it's free. You don't have to. You don't have to talk. You don't have to go and talk to a therapist or anything. This is a free way to work with your emotions one by one. Awesome, man. So I hope that helped. That's just one. That's just one technique. There's so many other
Yes.
techniques we can talk about. Right.
Yeah,
So I
Reverend.
see. I hope it says Medard. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
that's how you pronounce it. Please correct me. How do you I see that you have your hand raised. What's your question?
Yeah, it's correct. Your pronunciation is just right.
Okay.
So thank you a lot for this great talk. I learned a lot. I had a question about letting go because one thing you said is that the subconscious needs repetition, right? So we need to repeat things. Even the feelings need to be repeated again and again until while we are more comfortable, we feel more comfortable with it. Now,
Mhm.
in the same time, uh, in the steps you gave to turn up our ability to enjoy and experience the present uh, uh, moment, you said somewhere that it's important to let go, especially after visceral visualization, visual experience, when we try to visualize what we want to
Mhm.
manifest. And my first question is, why is it important to actually try to to do this detachment, to let go? And secondly, when how do you know actually that you have aligned enough with what you want to achieve, what you want to manifest, and that then it's the right moment to let go? So those are my two questions. Thank
Okay.
you.
When is the right time to let go? How do we let go? And then how do we check to see when we're aligned? Okay. So it's a good question, right? I would say the letting go and the detachment, when we're attached to something, especially for a desire that we don't have, we're in the state of being where we don't have it. So if you're attached to something that you want, but the feeling that you don't have it is more powerful than your wanting of it, then you have to let go of the attachment and needing it. Because if you have something, you don't need it. If you have something, you don't want it. Right? You already have it.
All right.
So, so that's the feeling that we want to start to embrace, is the feeling of having it. Um, some techniques that I use for letting go, especially if it's like let's say if it's a physical thing, let's say if it's money, right? Um, I need money and I need to detach from it. So I figure out what specific amount of money I'm attached to getting or wanting, right? Specific. The more specific you are, the better for your subconscious mind. And I visualize myself holding this thing. Like, visualize yourself holding it, right? And this is the trick. Once you close your eyes and visualize yourself with this thing that you're wanting, right? And especially that, and you want to just detach from the feeling of needing it, being desperate for it. When you visualize yourself holding on to it, you're gonna ask yourself the first question: am I seeing myself outside of my body holding on to it? Like, almost like, if am I in the room looking at myself through a camera holding it? Or am I experiencing myself being in the point of view where it's in my hands? I open my eyes and it's in my hands. And I ask that because those are two different forms of being. When you're in your point of view and you're seeing life through your eyes and you're holding the thing that you want to have, you are associating with it. Okay, you're in association with it. When you when we focus on something and we see it almost like outside of our body, like we're looking back at ourselves, we're disassociated from it. Right? So that's the first step. Are we associating with what we want, or are we disassociated from what we want? And if we're associated, great. That's where we want to be. We're associated with having it. If we're seeing it from a different perspective where we don't have it, right? Or where we're holding on to it, we do have that thing, but we're looking at ourselves. That means that we're not associating with it. We're not in alignment with having it. We're seeing it from outside our body. It's something that's foreign and external to us. And the simple thing you can do, if you can visualize yourself and your body in a room or outside holding what you want, that means that you can also pretend and walk into your body, right? That you can go around that version of you and you can walk into yourself, step into your body, like your hand into your hands, your legs into your legs, like it's like almost like you're putting on a outfit or a costume, and step into and associate with that version of yourself where you have it, right? That's one way that you can align to check to see if you're in alignment. Am I associating or am I disassociating? Right? Again, that's one technique. Have you guys ever heard of muscle testing or kinesiology?
No.
Okay. So there is a way to ask your body yes or no questions and for you to get an answer, yes or no. Okay. It's not something that's new. It's something that's always been there. Again, we just got to become aware of it. The easiest way to do it is I would say the one that's most popular is the sway test where we're letting either stand where we're standing. It's better to stand to do it. You can do it sitting down, but it's where we're working with subtle energy. So if I was to say my name is Josmar, right? My name is Josmar. And I allowed my body subtly to go either forward or backwards, right? You can say something like, you know what your name is. Your subconscious mind knows what your name is, right? So if you say my name is, and just take note, allow your body to sway, move forward, backwards, and see what happens. My name is Medard. My name is Jerome. And see if your body goes forwards or backwards. Right. This is one of many techniques. And for this, I'll actually send you guys another video on how to do self-muscle testing. Right. So you ask yourself yes or no questions, right? It's okay. Or you say affirmations that you believe are true. Right? My name is Josmar. When I ask myself, I go a little bit forward. My name is Bob. My name is Bob. Going a little bit forward, a little bit back, right? For some people, it might be really strong. For some, it might be really light. Like you got to be like really, really pay attention. Sometimes we also fight it too when we don't want it to work. So you have to trust yourself. But that means that you can ask your body yes or no questions and get an answer. Right? I do this with food. Sometimes I'm ordering food and I say, okay, what's the best thing for my body to eat today? Obviously, my emotions are going to try to tell me to buy one thing. But I'm saying, what's the best, based on the options that I have in my refrigerator, what's best on the options that I have here in my house? What food would serve me the best right now? And I go and ask, is it this? Is this rice going to best serve me right now? And I can ask my body and it either go forward for yes or back for no. Sometimes it can be reversed where it goes back for yes and forward for no. The best way to go about checking is my name is, and say your name. Another way you can do it is by instead of saying your name, you can say yes, 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 and then allow your body to move forward or backward and see how it goes. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going forward, so I know that yes, forward is my yes, and back is my no. Right? You can also remember memory of something that was feeling really good. It could be the visualization that we did earlier. Something that or it could be a memory of something that you experienced where you were really happy. And allow it to the thinking about it, allowing your body to move subtly forward or backward. And then you think about something that probably wasn't fun, something that probably you didn't want to enjoy, that you didn't enjoy, and see if you go forward or backwards. Right? The goal is to become more aware of the energy in your body. And if you can use self muscle testing to ask your body yes or no questions, you can say, am I in alignment with this goal? And it's either going to be yes or no. You can have things that are aligned to the goal, and you can have things that are not aligned to the goal. Right? But you'll start to feel it. And sometimes if you're going back and forth, that's how you know you have two contradicting beliefs or two contradicting emotions or two contradicting energies. Right? So that's one way to communicate with their body. It's called kinesiology. It's a study of body mechanics. And what you can do is mentally and emotionally talk to yourself and ask yourself those questions, yes or no.
Yeah.
To at least understand if you're in alignment. So doing the muscle testing for sure is one way. Checking with when you're visualizing, am I associating or disassociated? Am I seeing it through my POV, or am I seeing myself like as if I was outside of my body looking back at myself? And taking note of that.
Okay.
Right. And then another thing for letting go, for example, let's say if let's say a powerful tool I use is neuro-linguistic programming, it's NLP. And let's say I wanted to let go of my addiction to sugar or cookies. Let's say, for example, right? And I visualize myself with a plate of cookies in my hands, right? And when I think about myself with a plate of cookies, like right now, me thinking about me with a plate of cookies, I'm seeing it disassociated. So I'm seeing myself, I actually see a younger version of myself holding cookies. Okay. So if I wanted to let go of this vision, right? If I wanted to let go of the need for the cookies, I can visualize, because again, we have the imagination power, right? We have awareness that we can use. I can visualize myself dropping the plate of cookies.
Okay.
I can picture myself sweeping up the cookies and throwing them in the garbage, right? And I'm visualizing myself and I'm smiling now because I'm like, okay, I forget that this is, it can be this simple sometimes. And then I can then step back into my body without the cookies in my hand. And it might not be you might not feel it consciously, but you're training every time you do something like that, you're training your subconscious mind to let go of it. Because your subconscious mind, it thinks in visions, it thinks in images, and it feels emotions and sensations. Right? So anytime you want to check in with your body for self muscle testing, like I'll share this screen because it's for me it's important. I'm glad you asked this question. So far, have I answered the question, or is there some more clarity that you need, Madard?
Yeah. Yeah, it's clear. Very clear.
Very clear. So I'll show you this one last slide so that I guess here. So you see this is on the screen. Let me just make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Yeah, you guys see it. So ways to clarify, obviously drink a glass of water. Sometimes we ask our body yes or no questions and we're dehydrated. And when we're dehydrated, our body doesn't want to really work with us. Okay. You also want to take one cleansing breath, right? Well, nice deep inhale and exhale. Get your body into the present. You can actually use your breath to get into more present. If you do a nice little 5-5-5 or 5-5-5 breath, 5-5-7 breath, where you inhale for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds, and you exhale for 5 seconds. You do that a few times, 3, 4, 5 times, your body will start to relax. Your parasympathetic system in your body will start to relax, and you can actually get more present in the moment. Especially, I hit my toe earlier today getting ready for this call, and I'm like, I felt that pain. I just like just again, it was gone in like 2 seconds by just breathing, right? But I had this practice, right? You can ask what is right for me and what is not for me, and sway, do the muscle testing, right? And you'll feel sensations in your body. We all have different feelings, right? asking what is our highest good, and then muscle testing, doing the sway test, or the other things. I'm going to share with you about 9 different techniques for muscle testing. You guys can practice with those and see what works for you, right? Clarify
Okay.
that you're coming from a place of need or want, like I said before, right? If you're coming from a place of wanting or needing, that means that you're attached to something. And you're attached with you're attached with you're not having of it, right? So if you're attached with you're not having something, if you need to want something, that means that you don't have it. We need to be, do, and have. In order to have, you need to be and do. You know, first is the being, right? Most people just do things. They think that taking actions is the most important, and it is really important to take action. It's you need it, right? That's what real faith is about. Faith is about not needing a reason to do something. It's just doing it because you trust that you can do it, you can achieve it. Faith is utter belief that you can achieve something. Faith is utter belief. It's the absolute belief that something is, right? So what are you asking for? Get clear about what you're asking for and get clear about where you're asking for it. Are you asking this from your headspace? Are you doing this from your mind, or are you doing this from your heart? Right? Your heart is that much more, your heart is more powerful than your brain as a mechanism in your body. And that's a whole different workshop that we can talk about, your heart coherence, right? Make a list of what's working well, right? Make a list of what's getting in your way is another way to get clear, right? And you'll see if you're out of alignment with something, you'll have a long list of what's in the way, right? Prioritizing what to focus on, right, is a way to clarify too. Like if you're in alignment with your goals, you're not going to be focusing on things that are not in alignment with your goals, right? Like take awareness, just take note, reflect, right? What feels good, what doesn't feel good. Feel into your body like we did earlier. Jerome felt we had a good feeling. He felt a white energy in his chest. It was a feeling of gratitude and worthiness. He could hold it. It felt I forgot the feeling that he felt, and it was 10 degrees Celsius, right? So he felt good. And then I asked him about the sadness, and then he connected to the sadness and what it did and what it doesn't feel good, right? So your body will start to react. And as we did the tapping, he probably felt more of the sadness. And then you released it as he was doing it, right? You have the power to do that as well. Check into what you're feeling and put it on a scale from 1 to 10, and then identify yes or no by doing the sway test or any other form of muscle testing. Right. I just wanted to make sure that you guys have this too, and especially for the recording. Um, but yeah, letting go again is not it's not the easiest thing to do, but forgiveness is absolutely necessary. We need to forgive ourselves and everybody else for anything that's been done to us, and take responsibility for our own life. So forgiveness, you're giving yourself. You're giving yourself first. The word forgive is to give completely. That's what it means. So, but to forgive something, you have to, if something happened to you, or somebody did something to you, and you want to let go of what happened, you have to be willing to let go of even feeling that in the first place. Right? So if the feeling was betrayal, I've been betrayed many times, right? And you can that betrayal, if you don't forgive the other person for doing it, you're going to be holding on to that betrayal, and it's going to control your life. You will find other ways to be betrayed. You will attract other people's circumstances and events that will betray you if you don't do something about it, and you just allow that to be your memory, right? So in a betrayal, you have to give yourself the permission to forgive yourself first for having felt betrayed in the first place. Okay, I felt betrayed, and it was warranted. I should have felt that way, but today I'm going to stop feeling betrayed. So think about it. When you're feeling betrayed, where do you feel it in your body? Right? What color is it? What temperature is it? How does it feel when you hold it? And if you can imagine and visualize all those things, you can change it. Because if I was holding on to betrayal and I felt it in my stomach and it was the color red, and it felt like a really big heavy box that I was carrying, I can envision myself holding this big heavy red box around my stomach area. And I can then take that box and say, okay, I'm gonna make this box and I'm gonna shake it until it's white. And I'm gonna take this white box, and as I keep on shaking it, it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And now I can take that box and I can shrink it down to a little piece of a cube of sugar, right? And then I can throw it behind me, miles away behind me, and then lock it up behind the door and lock it away. If I can do that with my imagination and feel the sensations and differences, that means that I have full control of my feelings. And we all do. We just don't, we know nobody's training on us on how to do this stuff. Right? We don't get really trained on how to do this in school or just through our parents. Right? So okay. I let go of the box. I changed the color. Right? By doing these things, you're changing your relationship to the memory of the thing. And you have full control. And the more creative you can be at shifting your perception of the problem, you can start to give more of your attention and your awareness to the solution or to what you want instead. So half of the battle is really getting really clear about what you want, feeling it. And then the other thing is anything that's going against that feeling is just disarming it or taking away the electrical magnetic charge of that sensation. And when you take away the electromagnetic charge of the sensation of what you don't want, the feelings that you don't want, fears, phobias, emotions, moods, attitudes, where you can take that energy, do some EFT tapping. Even though I feel this, I deeply love and accept myself, bring it down to you want to take away all the energy that's going against what you want, which is yourself. It was me. When I dealt with what I dealt with, I was attracting circumstances in my life and I took responsibility. I felt betrayed when I lost my job. I felt horrible and depressed when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. I felt like life isn't fair. Why is all this stuff happening to me? I must be cursed. God doesn't want to support me. Why is God punishing me? That's how I felt. Right. And then I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling those ways, I'm the one that's feeling those ways, not anybody else. If these things happen to me, that's okay. But the feelings that I feel are mine. They're not anybody else's. And if I have these feelings and emotions, and now I have tools like muscle testing and EFT tapping, I can take every emotion one by one and I can take it from the level 10 down to a 0 if I'm willing to do the work. And then I started to release all this energy, all the betrayal. I started to release the needing to be right. I started to release the need for control, right? Because I just did the work, right? I found limiting beliefs and I did energy psychology techniques and I kept on reprogramming my brain, reprogramming my brain. Like I didn't do energy work. I wasn't a Reverend in 2014. I wasn't a health and life coach in 2014. I didn't write books back then, right? I was broke with a sick mother, no job, and making excuses, feeling like shit. Excuse the cursing, but that's exactly what I felt. I felt like I was cursed. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta do something about it. And I did something about it. And it's working one by one with these beliefs, one by one with these emotions. And then learning and learning new things, reading new books. And God would always bring me something more. He would always bring me something new to learn. And I just started applying what I was learning. And everything changed for me. And everything can change for you. And my experience and of my clients is that we got to get clear about what they want first and identify what the feelings and associations of that is, and then understanding where we're at, where we're at now, our subconscious mind, and all the things, right, that are holding us back, the things that are not allowing us to get there, the limiting beliefs, the self-sabotage. And I said, okay, well, if this has an energy, and I can little by little start lessening the power of this energy now becomes less powerful. And then your consciousness, your life has now all the energy that you were holding on to for create all those negative emotions. All these emotions have energy and they take energy to store in your body. And when you can take that energy, deactivate it, release it, rewire it, and then channel it into the vision that you have for yourself, the new goal that you have so much more of your awareness in the present moment that was stuck in your past. The stuck past energy is now, you're letting it go from the past and you're bringing it into the now. And now you have that much more consciousness and awareness to focus on and achieve your goals and actually do the actions. So there's no secret. The feelings are the secret. Working with your mindset is the secret, but taking action is part of it. And we take actions on what we believe is true. We take actions on what we have the faith that will actually happen. Right? We take action. We need the fruits. The fruits are the action. Right? We believe and we have faith that we can achieve something. Showing up and doing the work to do it, to get there, is faith in action. That we know that by me doing these things, and sometimes it's not going to happen overnight. And guess what? If you get frustrated, that's an emotion. On a scale from 0 to 10, I'm feeling 9, frustration. And just do some tapping and get it all the way down to a 0. And guess what? Maybe another emotion will come up, and maybe another emotion will be fear or anxiety. Let it come up, come to the surface, because now you're trained on how to work with their emotions. Now I feel this. Even though I feel this, I deeply love and accept myself. And what you will begin to experience is that you have more control of your emotions and you can do something about it instead of being a victim to it. The power is in your hands. The power is in your hands. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Any other questions, please? I'm here. I don't know how long these calls usually go for, but I'm here to answer any questions or go deeper into anything.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Reverend. This is world class even. Wow,
Mhm.
we're so blessed that you are our co-host today. Thank you so much. You are so generous. You provided um, us with brilliant tools. I mean, powerful tools, amazing content. Oh my gosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. You're
I
very
couldn't
welcome.
say more.
So
Thank you.
there's I got some more tools for you. So if you look in the chat, if you're just joining us, I shared some links earlier. Here's this link I'm sharing now is the self muscle testing. So the first one is the sway method. And there's another 8 methods that you can use. You can use your hands. A lot of chiropractors use different things. Here's another one. It's called the 7 Steps to Conscious Authority. This is actually in alignment with Napoleon Hill's 6 steps in creating anything. What's the vision? What's the time you want to achieve it by? What's the plan of action? And then you write out your plan and then you read it aloud twice a day, right? You're training your subconscious mind with the future that you're looking to create for yourself. That's also being given to you in the YouTube. I just posted that link in the chat. What else do I have for you? If you guys want to hear a long form video to see more of a long form testimonial video of what my clients have experienced working with me, that's another YouTube link I just sent here in the chat. And I'll send these to you as well, Jerome, if you want to share it with
Yes,
the audience.
your
Mhm.
book, Reverend.
Yep. So the book, I'm going to be sharing the book as well. I may have a
Thank you.
PDF here as well. Let me see if I have the PDF and I can just load it live here on the chat. Perception Pivot from the book, the Pivot Point System. Perception Pivot chapters. I think I have it here. The Pivot Point System. Yeah, Josmar's chapters. Here you go. Here's a PDF. That's just loading right now into the chat. If you want to download it directly from Zoom, there it is. Download it to your phone, download it to your computer. Again, I'll send that in an email separately too, but you can just download it now if you want to. Another thing that I'm going to give you guys is the clearing the chaos exercise. So this is the exercise that I use for drawing the line, for making a decision, and where you kind of write the things that serve you and the things that don't serve you, the foods that serve you, the foods that don't serve you, the people that serve you, the people that don't serve you. So you can start to get clear about what works and what doesn't work, and what you want to get more of and what you don't want to get more of. Right. So clearing the chaos, that link is also here in the Zoom chat. Let me see, is there anything else that I can give you guys today? I feel like it's Christmas right now. So let me see what else I can give. Clearing the chaos. Again, these are just tools, simple tools that you can use for developing your awareness. Let me see what else I have. Oh, let me give you the habit shifter. The habit shifter. So, and I'll share this last screen with you guys. So you guys, yeah, please download. Use these tools. I'm not giving them. I'm not giving you these tools for you not to use them. I really want you to have them. I want you to make use of it. These are the things that I've learned and I've used over and over and over again in my own life. Right. Besides obviously doing the work that I do when it comes to the mindset, I'm a businessman, right? So I help people with their businesses, growing their companies, getting clear about what their message to market matches. Let me share this here. Let me share my play from the current scene. All right, you guys see the screen? Let me see what you guys are seeing on my screen. No, stop. Wrong share. Share my screen. There you go. So, like we said, everything we want, our intent is in the now. So, the 5 levels of consciousness, I can share this video with you.
Wow.
I can share this with you here. I just sent you guys the clearing the chaos. I'll send you guys the master list of emotions. You guys already learned what the 9 moves to upgrading your consciousness are. So I'll send you the copy of this PowerPoint in the form of a PDF. The subtle art of muscle testing, I already shared that with you already. It's a video I shared earlier. The habit shifter. Uh, the habit shifter is another book that I wrote. It's a short book, but I wrote it for people who wanted to learn a little bit more about what it takes to shift or create new habits. Let me see if I can just put it here in the chat as well. The habit shifter. The habit shifter book. Where are you? Oh, there you go. Daily steps to break bad habits and create good ones. There you go. That should be the book right there. I just loaded it in the chat, in the Zoom chat. What else we got? The panic relief form. You probably don't need that one. The emotional tune-up. Emotional tune-up is really just me talking about EFT tapping, but I do have. I think I have it in the presentation in emotional tune-up. Do I have it in PDF format? And if I can't find it here, I'll just send it to you, Jerome. Emotional subtle art muscle test. Okay, there you go. Here you go. PDFs of both the tune-up and the subtle art of muscle testing also in the chat. Here you go. And the 7 steps to conscious authority is the same thing as the 7 steps to conscious clarity workbook. So you've got basically have everything, but you don't have the power shifter, you don't have the conscious leverage creation in this one. And that's fine. You don't need it honestly, unless you're gonna do business, and then we'll have a different conversation for that. And I sent you the chapters that I wrote. This book right here, the Pivot Point System. There's 5 of us that were authors for that book. There's a person that spoke about, you can find it on Amazon. as a person who talked about wealth and how to manage their money. A person who talked about like how to dress for success. There's a person that spoke about how to leverage, how to create, develop their career and become more valuable in your career. Another person talks about health and how to take care of your health. And then I spoke about mindset, emotions, beliefs, basically what I talked about today. So that's what you have. That's what you have now. So, yep. If let me know, Jerome, if you want me to resend these things via email. If not, uh, just gave you guys a lot of resources that you can use.
Yes, yes, Reverend. And now we are well equipped to deal with any kind of challenge. Thank you so
There you
much,
go.
Reverend. And I'm sure that I will shake your hands one of these days in USA for sure. You are so
Yes, that would
generous.
be great. Oh, thank you, man. You're welcome,
Thank you.
man.
We love you. God
Gotta
bless
give
you.
back. But God bless you as well.
Thank you. By
Being
the way,
generous.
Reverend, please, would you mind sending us the slide, your PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, for sure. I can
Okay,
send you the PowerPoint.
thank you.
I'll
So
send.
I will email
You want me to
you.
send it as a PDF?
Okay,
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'll send it to you as a PDF, so it's
okay,
a smaller file. Yep, I can do
all
that.
right.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Let me see. I can do that right now. I'll probably just take out these pages. Yeah, I'll send it to you in an email. Um,
Perfect.
Let me just hide these slides because I took this from a presentation where I was pitching somebody on hosting a master class. Um, it was a 24 session, 24 Zoom calls, about everything. So I'm putting that together now as a course. Um, yeah, so you'll see that. You see everything I spoke about today. And yeah, let me actually just print this, let me export this as a PDF. And since you're still here, this for those of you who have stayed to the end, you're gonna get all the presents and all the gifts live directly. Let me put upgrading your conscious master class, export PDF. It's exporting those 20 pages. And then it'll be done in like another 30 seconds, and I'll post it here in the chat as well. I'm sure that I'll send it via email as well. Let me see. Okay, that's done. Let me go over here. Go into my brand, master class, and there you go. Loading now. So that's a PDF of the slides from today.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. My goodness.
And I'm gonna give you a bonus one. Hold on, give me a second. I'll give you a bonus. I'll give you another bonus one. I
Thank
showed
you.
one slides for this one, but I didn't show all the slides for this. So for this one, let me export it. It's a workshop that I did earlier this year in February. Um, upgrading your consciousness. Light. Yep. Oh, I already have it here. Give me a second. I don't have to make a new one. Let me just upload this on my computer. I'll go to Limitless. So in some of the documents that you're getting in some of the and some of the videos that I've sent as well, you're gonna see a woman in my videos. She's one of my partners in this kind of work. Again, she was a clinical psychologist. She's been focusing more of her career now on um just energy psychology and helping people with their emotions. So see her in some of the slides, and I just uploaded upgrading your consciousness light, which is slides from that presentation as well. So you got a little bit of everything today.
Yes, thank you so much, Reverend. Thank you once again.
You're
It's
very
a pleasure
welcome.
to meet you. God bless you.
God bless you. If there's anything that you guys need, you can always ask me a question. Send your own questions as well if you want. And I'm sure that if there's ever a need, like to do a workshop like this for a bigger audience, or maybe for a team, association, a business group, and they want to get a refresher on this type of information, just we'll see if it works. Send me a message. If I can put it into my schedule, then I'd be grateful to do that for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Reverend. It's so grateful. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
bye
for
for
being
now.
here. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Reverend. Thank you.
Thanks and bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now. Bye-bye. God bless you.